right, Kaylee, thanks for coming in today.
Yes, thank you.
What brings you in?
Well, I'm in college right now, and I'm really having trouble figuring out just these feelings of being overwhelmed and figuring out what I want to do for the rest of my life and which route I should go. If I should just try to jump into the working world and try to find a career, or if I should go into grad school and pursue further education. And so,
Yeah, it sounds like you're dealing with the stress of trying to plan what's next in your life.
Right, and knowing what to do, what I want to be when I grow up, in a sense.
Okay.
It's very overwhelming.
So what's your current course of study?
Well, I'm a psychology major right now, and so I'm one of those people and trying to figure out, okay, what can I do with that? Do I need to go ahead and get my master's, or could I try to find something that's aligned with what I want to do in the working world?
Yeah, so what brought you into psychology?
Just trying to understand myself, family members. It's just always intrigued me, and it's something I wanted to help people. I want to help people and give back in some way and have something that's more fulfilling for me.
Okay, so it sounds like this was an interest topic for you.
Right.
Not necessarily that you had a perfect idea of what you wanted that to turn into.
Right, exactly. No clear path set out for me.
Okay, so when you think about what you do want to do one day when you grow up, what options come to mind?
Well, I like the idea of working with children possibly, and or their families. Whether I could also see myself working for a nonprofit that helps different individuals. And so I kind of see a lot of different options. So it's like, okay, well, should I just jump into a nonprofit field and try to do something more administrative, or do I need a specialization in something and pursue that further education to help these people more? And
yeah, so I'm hearing the anxiety of trying to narrow down the decisions.
Right.
But it also sounds like you're currently in the process of brainstorming what your options are.
Right.
And just, so you're here today because you're trying to process through figuring out what the next steps for you could be.
yeah, that's basically it. Because it is very overwhelming, and I feel like, what if I make the wrong choice, or what if I make the bad decision and then have regrets later of, well, I should have done this when I had the opportunity. So there's a lot of different things at play, and I don't want to waste time.
So you're wanting some clarity on this big life-changing decision
Right.
that you want to make.
I feel more confident with it, and
Okay.
I guess that's a good way to put it, yeah.
Okay, so I'm hearing that we've got a clear idea of not today what it is, but the goal of figuring out what you want to shoot for next.
Right.
Because you've got a few months until graduation and you're trying to plan those next steps.
Yeah.
Okay, so what types of things have you currently done to narrow your decision down?
Well, and I think that's the thing, is I haven't really done too much yet, except everything that's going on in my brain and trying to sort that out. So I haven't really, I kind of feel stuck. I don't know where to start. I don't know where to begin in figuring that out.
Okay, and so is this, coming in today, the first thing that, the first action step that you've taken to trying to eliminate that?
Yeah, I would say so. Besides maybe talking to people and venting about what's going on, but they can only offer me their own opinion or the same kind of stuff I'm saying. Okay, well, I can see this side and this side.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily getting me anywhere.
Yeah, so you've had some just informal conversations with friends and family.
Right.
So you've got even more broad ideas coming from them.
Coming at me from different ways.
Hasn't
Yeah.
helped you land on one.
Correct.
Okay, and so tell me about how that has impacted your stress level on trying to...
I would say it's increased it almost. I mean, I have gotten some good feedback and some different perspectives, but like I said, it doesn't necessarily help. It adds to the cluster going on in my head.
Okay.
And it's still just more options. Well, this could be a good option, or going back to school could be a good option, and now, so it adds to it. The what ifs. What ifs? If you do this, then that, and it adds to it. So yeah, the stress, the anxiety goes up, especially because graduation is approaching so quickly. Time's not slowing down. So
Right.
Right.
It's time to start making some plans.
Yes.
It feels like.
Yes.
Okay. Well, so do you feel? I know you gave some brief examples of options for you. Do you feel like you have a full list of your options, or are you also looking to explore the various possibilities that you could go into?
I guess it would be good to kind of solidify what all of my options are.
Okay. So let's spend some time brainstorming what those options are. I heard you say before possible administrative roles, but you have also mentioned the nonprofit sector.
Right.
You want to find a way to give back, but you're not totally sure what that looks like at this stage, or if you should continue your education and become more specialized.
Right. And because I guess that's the thing too, is like, let's say if I don't go in, I mean, I still have to work no matter what, and so it's accepting that, like, I might not necessarily find a job that I want to do long term. So let's say if I don't decide to go back to school, then I still need to be able to work no matter what. And so that's another option, is just finding a job just for right now. I guess that would be another option as well. Because I would like something ideally I would like something that is more aligned with what I want to do. But I know that's not always possible either. So it's fighting that aspect of it as well, because that can get frustrating.
So you're looking to, if you were going straight into the workforce, wanting to look for something that is a helping type role,
Right.
but not sure quite what that looks like.
Right.
Okay, so what types of roles have you found, or have you looked for any, that fit the credentials you'll have as an undergrad
Right.
In those types of roles that you're interested in?
Right. Well, there's been some nonprofit positions that have opened up, and so I'll look at that are aligned, like facilities that work with children with various disabilities, or even a children's home and stuff like that. So I've looked at them, but sometimes they won't have the jobs or will be administrative, and so I've had interviews and stuff, but just nothing's coming from it. So that's that can be quite defeating as well at times too, like, well, maybe I won't be able to do this, and figuring that out a little bit, so.
Okay, so where are you looking for these open positions?
I've looked online primarily. But like I said, I haven't done too much, so I've primarily looked online to see what is out there, but it's just to kind of get an idea to try to ease some of that stress, but it's still, like, I don't know if there is more out there, or if that's it, really.
Okay, so that, we'll table that, we'll come back to it, because that's one option, is looking for and finding out maybe more options for career opportunities right out of school.
Right.
You also mentioned specialization as an option in graduate school, so what does that look like for you?
Well, I've thought about, like, I've looked at social work, I've looked at nonprofit management, I've looked at, like, mental health counseling. Well, like, I've just thought about it. I haven't necessarily looked into them too much, but there are ideas going around, because right now it's just, when I do look at that, it's like, okay, it's a specialization, but it's also talking about money and job stability, and those are kind of the things that I'm just thinking about right now regarding those as well.
So there's a lot of factors that contribute to that decision.
Right.
The paying for it, the still having to work through it, and also wanting to narrow down the program that is the right fit for you with what you envision yourself doing as a helper. Okay, have you explored which programs you like, or universities you'd be interested in?
Well, I want to stay local, so, but I haven't pushed too far in looking into it yet, because I'm like, well, maybe I shouldn't yet, maybe I should just do this other thing, so I haven't actually looked into it too much yet. It's just all in my brain.
Okay, so the two options that we've covered so far are just going into some type of working role and not doing school or specialization, and ideally working in the helping field in some capacity. And that might mean an administrative role at first, that might get you into a more well-suited position, or finding just any job so that it helps pay for school, and then narrowing down where to go, which program, and if that's the right fit for you. Those are the other two. Are there any other options that you could think of, or are those the main two that you're struggling with today?
I think those are the main two that I'm struggling with. Yeah, I can't really think, because, I mean, yeah, it'd be nice to like take a year or so off and not have to worry about it, but that's not life at the same time. So I think those are the main two that I'm trying to figure out.
Okay. Have you considered, or tell me about some of the, if you've come across these in your online searches even, like internships that are temporary that might allow you to gain some of that hands-on experience and help you determine your next route? Because if a job is going to be something that you are going to need regardless, maybe internship could be added to our list that we're brainstorming of possible options to get some, you know, real-time experience and help guide you towards your next steps.
See what it's like.
Yeah.
Or even just meeting people and talking to people to see what they've done. And I haven't thought about that, because that might be good. That might be a good option. Or even if I see if I can find someone, if they'd let me shadow them for a day and see if, especially since specializations too that I'm looking at and trying to figure that out, it might be good to get an idea of what they do on site. Is that something I can see myself doing this many years down the road, and what the options are in there?
So you mentioned wanting to help people and possibly the nonprofit sector. What types of populations or groups of people would you see yourself serving?
I could see myself working with like college aged and below, probably. I mean, I can work with a diverse group, but I think ideally it would be somewhere in there, or even with families, more of a family sector.
Okay.
And helping with.
What types of issues could you see yourself helping them with? I mean, you know, for instance, substance abuse.